I think what most people won't tell you is that this game is hard, right? You got to put in the work, you got to put in the hours, and you got to constantly be improving if you want to move up in stakes or just make this work, right? And we do have a good one to go over here. It's going to run for close to 20 minutes, but before I, get into this, I always give a little background on myself, and basically I've been playing for the last 2 decades. Hop on about 4 times a week playing mid stakes, and I don't have one type of strategy like GTO, ABC, or whatever. I really focus on 2 things. The first is making good decisions, because at the end of the day, we do have control over that. And the second thing is I try and use strategies against my opponents and exploit them as much as possible, meaning I'm gonna bluff without hesitating if I think somebody's weak. And after playing so many hands, you kind of pick up on these little things a lot quicker. Of course, as I'm getting in this, I also want to let you guys know we have an awesome community in the pinned comments section where you can talk to me one-on-one, as well as with some of our high-level members. And check this out, man. If you're stuck or hitting a wall at your current stake and just want to take things more seriously, highly recommend getting in it. Also, you guys could tap the like, and let's get right into this. And like I said, this is going to run for close to 20 minutes, so if you want to grab a bottle of water, some Gatorade, or some coffee, and let's lock in, man. And I'll tell you what, guys, I have been putting in the volume lately. I think a good starting point, if you want to take this a little bit more seriously, I would recommend getting up to at least like the 10,000 hands per month mark, mainly because you can kind of see once you get to 10,000 hands, like, how are you doing? Are you are you up? Are you down? Are you breaking even? You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of get a good baseline there if you're actually, whatever stake you're playing, if you're actually doing good at it or not, right? And I do think it's a good baseline, all right? Now, there is a lot more nuance to this, which is why, every time I'm posting and we're kind of getting up to, I don't even know, maybe like 150 videos, maybe more, get in the community. And it, like I said, man, it's just, if you want to take things more seriously, I could just give you, because the thing is, like, every time, if you get in it, like really get into this game, you always set these expectations in your head, and they never come true because, like, you can only control one thing. And I said it, like, making good decisions, right? Like I said, there's just a lot of nuance to this, and I'm not going to go too much into that, but I do have some really good spots I want to break down, and you need to stick around to the end because we do have a big spot I kind of saved for later. It's kind of, you're not going to believe it kind of thing, so just get ready for it, man, and here we go. All right, King 10, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, guys. A little bit early for me in the morning right now. And I played this one recently. The thing is, whenever I play, I'm always recording and kind of just sharing, what happened with you guys. I try to share the W's and the L's because obviously, you're not going to, be up every time you play. There's just variance. And that's another thing, man. Variance is very tricky. It's when you get it all in good, ace king versus ace queen, and then, a queen pops off and you lose, a full buy-in, etc. Those things just happen. It's just being able to, like, deal with them without letting it spiral out of control. That's something that a lot of us need to work on. I think for me, in my 20s, I couldn't control it. By the time I hit my 30s, it was like not a big deal to me anymore. I could just kind of play through it. So I think age does come with a little bit for some people, and it's just kind of like the experience of understanding variance is a real thing, man. There is no God mode. All right, variance is going to come, and it's going to give you some downswings. But, as long as you keep your head held high, you understand it, you can push through it, man. You don't have to let it spiral. Because spiraling happens to everybody, right? You don't want that to happen. All right, so check this out, man. I went for a pretty big bluff here. Kind of just putting player 3 on a couple overcards, and I felt like this was a flop where I could probably get away with this. You might be thinking, like, dude, what are you doing? But I did have a good baseline for what he had here, especially when he checked it, which just looks so weak to me. I was kind of like, come on, man, what are you doing here? What are you doing, man? All right, so I just came over the top, little 400 piece. And I said this in the beginning, if I feel like somebody is weak, I have no issues bluffing them, right? When you move up in stakes, it's just that you have to make plays. You have to start playing the man and not just the cards, you know? And you see that as you move up in stakes and get away from like the lower games. And that's not a bad thing, you know? I don't think that's a bad thing at all. You know, that's all I'm going to say about that. Kind of makes you a better player. You kind of open your game up a little bit more, and that's what it's all about, man. It's about improving and just kind of like thinking that one type of way of playing is going to get you to the top. It's not, you know, it's really not. You have to adjust to the table, you know, and you have to bluff. You have to make plays, and you have to make them believable. All right, here we got jacks, little pocket jacks, man. Got a little jacks going on here. Let's see if we can make something happen with the jacks. Player 3 raising it up here. Now I re-raised it because it's just a button raise, man. I had to re-raise this. All right, back over to player 3. He's thinking he's gonna make this call. Let's see. I mean, there was no way I could just flat here. You know, I had to re-raise this. Player 3 could be doing this with anything, you know, literally anything. So he re-raised us, which did actually put us in a tricky spot. Instead of just calling this, once again, I kind of just went for it. Now, you got to remember, me and him just kind of like had this issue a second ago. Once again, I'm kind of putting him on ace-king, ace-queen. If he calls, he calls. We'll just be in a flip situation, which I'm actually okay with here. But he didn't even have anything. He was just trying to bluff me, which was actually pretty funny. So we took that down. I'll pat myself on the back, and we'll continue moving forward here. All right, next one we have a, yeah, this was so weird, man. Back-to-back pocket jacks. Doesn't happen too often. If you want to look up how often that does happen, go ahead. I have no idea. It was kind of weird. But hey, I'm not complaining, man. I'll take the jacks, man. We'll take the jacks back-to-back. Sure, why not? Why not, okay? And here we are. All right, not a bad flop for jacks. We do have the queen out there, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue here. Think we're going to get called down. We could, if we do get called down here, it could be with this guy having like a pair of 5s or 4s, you know. Not necessarily a queen. But I continued here on the turn, which I think was kind of interesting. I don't know. I was putting some pressure on. I kind of like the move right there. And we took it down, okay? Once again, I'll pat myself on the back. 4 on the river. Maybe he just had nothing there, trying to keep us honest, which is totally fine. All right, next time we got an ace-jack suited. Looking real nice here, the spades. Ace-jack, when it's spade suited and diamond suited, are my 2 favorite ace-jack suiteds. So, you know, obviously, no one called there, unfortunately. I would have liked to have seen somebody call to re-raised us. Would have been fine as well, but what are we going to do? All right, next hand, 3-8. Hope you guys are still with me because it is going to get a little bit better here. And like I said, man, pin comment. Get in that community, guys. Get in the group. You know, it's time. It is time, especially if you're watching the vids here, right? All right, anyways, 3-8 suited, man. All right, nothing going, and we kind of just move on here. We move on to the next one. All right, now we got an 8-9 suited, so we just had the 3-8. We had the clubs. Got the clubs again. You know, we got to make a call here. We're also starting to trend up a little bit, which is nice. So, you know, we'll take that. We'll take the trending up a little bit here, man. Just see if we can kind of keep it going. All right, not a good flop for us. This is kind of one where against 2 opponents, it really doesn't make sense to do anything here except fold. So, you know, nothing I could do. And I think calling here would just be, you know, wishful thinking, honestly. It is what it is, right? It is what it is, okay? Just going to have to let this one go. And, yeah, man, just nothing going there. Turn card wouldn't have helped us out either, so, you know, it is what it is. I'd say just a disciplined fold, even though I didn't want to. Now, this is just getting weird, right? We've got clubs again. I think we've had 3 clubs suited hands back to back to back here. Now, I did cut through a little bit of the chop, but at the same time, man, we are just, you know, we got the clubs, man. Clubs like us today. I guess that's just kind of what it is, huh? All right. Now, 10-7 suited is one of my favorite hands. I've said that before. We did pair the 7 here. We also have runner cards for trips, 2-pair, and we got the clubs that are still, live here. So that's all good news for us. To continue, which I'm expecting somebody to throw something out there. Pot's actually getting pretty big pre-flop for these stakes. So, yeah, but it checked. I'm going to check it back again here. Now, there is a spade draw out there. Our clubs are no good. A pair of 7s could be good here. At this point, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's possible. And we are going to get to the river. 4 paired the board. I was okay checking this back to showdown. I was thinking about maybe putting something out there. The issue is, we're losing to some other hands like pocket 10s, pocket jacks. Those type of hands could still be possible here, especially with the re-raise, but I guess not. So we took it down with the pair of 7s. But yeah, I think checking it to showdown there made the most sense because, like I said, with the re-raise like that in that spot pre-flop, somebody could easily have like pocket 10s or pocket jacks and they were scared of the queen. That's what I was thinking, but it is what it is, guys. We still took it down. All right, so now we're continuing to trend up a little bit here. Now we got 10-8 suited. Another hand that I really like, 10-7 suited, 10-8 suited. Those hands for me flop pretty well. Straights, flushes, you name it, whatever, okay? All right, so I'm going to put in a position raise here on the button. If we get re-raised, totally fine making this call. And, we're starting to get it going here a little bit, man. Starting to get it going a little bit, all right? So, all right, we got re-raised. Flop, not good. But at the same time, this could be bad for player 6 as well. Do we want to bluff here or do we just want to check it? I decided to check. Turn card was a king, not a good look for us. So I had to kind of figure out, like, what do I want to do here? Do I want to bluff? Do I want to just let this go? This is a tough one. When he checked it, to me, guys, it felt like weakness. I think if he had the king there, he is going to put something out. So I put a little feeler out there, 60 piece, you know what, it worked, and we took it down with nothing. If he would have put something out there on the turn, guys, I would have let that one go, but because he didn't, I was just kind of like, okay, you're probably weak here, and I picked up on that right away. Which kind of brings us to the moment of this one, guys. We had a Queen 8 suited. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. Now this one, kind of hard to put into words, so hope you've stuck with me this long because, man, I don't know what else to say. This was something right here. Now, Queen 8 suited, to me, it's a pretty strong hand, especially in these short-handed games. And, yeah, we're also... Oh, I thought were we in the big blind here? Or did I... Whatever. Whatever. Wanted to see a flop here with the Queen 8. And I'll tell you what. I'm not going to give anything away here. Player 3 is going to raise this up. Now we have player 3 covered. Now that I'm looking at it, I wasn't sure if he had us covered or not. We do have him covered. He's going to raise it up. He's basically repping a big hand right now. We could target all those like ace kings, ace queens, mid pocket pairs. He's not going to just do this with a bad hand. I just felt that way. So we are going to make a call. Our hand is very floppable. We can get something. And we really did. This hand, now we have the 8, okay? Even if he's got like ace king here, we're in pretty good shape. I mean, we could still, if he has ace queen, we're in bad shape, but I don't know if it's either to me, he's got like ace king, the way he opened this, or like a mid pocket pair. When he checked it that quick, I thought it was kind of interesting. So here is what transpired next. I, am going to put something out there because I wanted to build the pot now, especially if we hit our flush on the turn or, a possible trips with the 8 or a queen for 2 pair. All these hands could be good. But this is what I expect next. And, to me, guys, this is what I ended up doing. And, you know, definitely felt like ace king at this point. We just don't want it to be ace queen. Instead of just calling here, I was kind of like, you know what, let's do a flip. I really like our spot here, especially if he's got ace king, you know. We just don't want it to be ace queen. Now, what was really funny about this was I was completely wrong. Completely. You can really never put somebody on this, though. So, obviously, he's going to make this call, and we are going to see the worst news. After playing pretty good in this one, we're going to be in a really bad spot, drawn really thin here. Yeah, pocket aces. Pretty bad, guys. I'll say this, though. The one thing that made me feel better about this was we didn't hit two pair, okay? Even though the flush didn't get there. I mean, we were going to lose anyways. So even if he had ace king, we were going to lose. So it didn't really make a difference that he had a set. But it is what it is. You know, I do share the W's, the L's, but, you know, hope you guys enjoyed another one here. You know, I'm always posting, always recording, and, you know, just tap that like if you made it to the end. Check out the pinned comment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.